Larry, you've been critical in the past of the president's recent trade posturing. Is there any benefit, economic or national security related, to the U.S. in what the president is doing right now?
I think the devil's all in the details. If the president is successful in strengthening the regime when we look at foreign investments and he prevents some economic espionage from taking place, that'll be a good thing. If he's successful in causing China to take a more welcoming approach to U.S. companies, that will be a good thing. I think the question is always in these things, what's actually really going to happen? And so far, the rhetoric from the president has run way ahead of the reality, and that's why I've got a fairly high level of anxiety at this point about how this is all going to play out.
Do you have any sense of what our international trade policy will look like in 6 months or a year's time? And indeed, what other countries' international trade policy will look like, you know, trying to get a sort of a jump on the U.S., as we saw with Canada already becoming more protectionist?
Right now it looks like the general direction is going to be towards more protection, more restriction, less trade, more inability of U.S. producers to produce, which will mean less willingness of U.S. producers to hire, and will hurt the very workers President Trump is most focused on. So right now, this looks pretty awful. Why would we be, in the name of national security, putting tariffs on Canadian steel that raise the price of steel for everybody who produces automobiles or everybody who's producing bridges over rivers or strengthening the country's infrastructure? Why would we want to tax all of that in order to put a burden on Canada? And what that's got to do with our national security is kind of inconceivable. So I have to say it doesn't look like a very good picture. But one thing we know with this president is things change quickly, and perhaps it'll get to a better place at some point.